distracted from the uninteresting times of peace, tranquility, and development.
The interesting ones and hard times have arrived, of detraction and relapse, but also of mobilization and readiness, of sacrifices and victories, of hopes and great strides.
With ripple effects going far and wide.
Get the perspective.
From where events are fast unfolding, from where history is being made, from where it has always been made.
Understand the values upon which mutual benefits and success depends. Have the foresight. Get it from those who walk the talk.
From Mekelle Foresight, only on Tigray television.
In Tigray, at this moment, it's very difficult situation, mainly due to locust invasion. Actually, it's difficult to quantify how it is destructive, because it messes all everything. Farmers are moving here and there, looking for assistance from different organizations, basically from the government, but there is no government at this time to address their issue. As we know, we are saying there is no formal federal government this time, legal federal government, but even before that, before the expire date, there was no as such assistance. So for them, for farmers, this is a big shock, because our government was known to be peasant affiliated. They were benefiting out of this for the last 2 decades. They were expecting a lot of support from government, even at a difficult situation. But when they lack such kind of thing from, especially from the federal, it's very difficult.
You can see what is happening to our peasants. We have a locust invasion unprecedented in recent memory. And everyone, Ethiopians and non-Ethiopians alike, are touched by the misery, by the harm the locust has caused to their plants and so on, and everyone is mobilized trying to help. And when you see a leader appearing indifferent to the agonies of his own people, a lot of questions come to mind. Is he really caring about the well-being of his own people?
It's becoming obstacle to get support, to bring some machineries that can ease the effort of the farmers. So this time the damage is just to the crops. It's obvious, everybody can notice that one. But the damage to the psychological damage that is created in the society is very, very tough, because damage from locust is also has associated with just with God, with curse, something like that. And when this kind of government is coming, also considered like a curse. So all of them, they are summing up. We have just evil government, we have evil insect. So like they are thinking the doomsday is coming.
Ethiopia is a state which claims its essence from Tigrayan values, from Tigrayan emblems, from Tigrayan culture, and what have you, from Tigrayan civilization, and from Tigrayan system itself, state structure, state system. All of this emanated from Tigray. But we don't find our picture in the Ethiopian state, especially of modern Ethiopia, which obviously began in the late 19th century. as of that time up until today, we don't find ourselves in full picture in this Ethiopian state. Not only that, even though we are cognizant of our contribution to the Ethiopian state, we are kind of alienated whenever we try to mention that this thing is Tigray and this is Tigray, and so we have a lot in this state. Elites, especially those elites which espoused a modern Ethiopia molded into an Amhara identity, not only fail to recognize our contribution, but they push us always not to mention it even.
In terms of farmlands, a lot of farmlands are just attacked, so it's difficult to bridge this gap locally. And I think a group should be responsible for this and should be accountable, because we know there was a lot of efforts or support from international community, but we don't see any effort or any droplet of the support on ground. The issue is about desert locusts. You don't have to deal separately. You have to work in integration or in collaboration with different regions, even outside of the country, with Kenya, with Somalia, with Yemen, and with all of them.
So IGAD is not alive. We have the skeleton of IGAD in place. But IGAD was revitalized with the crucial role of Ethiopia, because IGAD is a vehicle for all of the countries of member states of IGAD, of the region, because it caters the collective interest of all of us in security, in development, in politics, in trade, in people to people, and cultural ties, and regional integration. After all, IGAD is a building block of the unity building effort of the African continent. That's what Abiy has done. They all that amount to committing treason. And definitely he will be accountable. He will be accountable for his action. When time will come, definitely.
What we're telling or asking Dr. Abiy was to follow the rules, nothing else. Follow the rules, allocate the budget as per the rules, and let the institutions, the relevant institutions, manage the process. We don't need a pity from anybody else. We think the system in place was fair, so we don't want him to interfere and manipulate. We don't want him to use public resources to pressurize Tigray or to get unnecessary, unlawful political support from the ruling party here, from the TPLF. That is unacceptable. They have tried several things. I mean, publicly, in a very organized way, supported by the media. We have experienced blackmailing, very organized blackmailing, demonizing the Tigray people, very dangerous way, in a very dangerous way. They have blocked the federal road over 2 years now. This is a federal road, and the federal government has done nothing. Quietly allowed that. Conspiracy to discourage investment inflow to Tigray. Investors are being told not to go to Tigray, not to invest in Tigray. Those in Tigray receiving all sorts of intimidations. They are being visited by security, they are being visited by politicians, by different administrative offices. Some businesses, Tigrayan businesses or affiliated with Tigray, are shut down for no reason. For no reason, no explanation. So they have done this. They have taken Tigrayan media off the air. These are the people we are dealing with.
Last year, there was support also from Tigrayan diasporas out of Ethiopia. They were sending just money for fuel, for other support, basically. And just some diaspora living in Israel, they were mobilizing money and just they were trying to send money to Tigray. But we said, okay, just it's good to have money also, but it is better also to support this effort, the effort of our people by modern technologies like drones. Before 5-6 months, it came and arrived in Addis, and there was a lot of bureaucracy. We know the normal bureaucracy in Ethiopia, but that was beyond. We were considering, okay, this is restricted or something like that. But finally we understood the group at the helm of the power has an interest to challenge any support from outside, even locally, to Tigray. Not only discriminatory, but it's like against our effort. Discriminatory is when we have a resource at national level, we can take our share. So if it obstructs that one, this support, and if it stops that support, you can say discriminatory. But we mobilize our people, we raise fund, we got such kind of drone. They consider as if an attack for Tigray, but they put as a cause, okay, you may use it for another purpose, we don't know, just we are not aware of this. Actually it is available everywhere and it has limitation, but it can't move above 30 meters and just 1 kilometer. It has, they know, but finally they say like that. Their interest is just to create a food crisis because there was a forecast from FAO ahead of time, ahead of COVID, before it's declared as a pandemic. Just a food crisis will happen in East Africa. Such kind of forecast was there. So they know also locust is coming to our region. They are considering a weapon.
We have public institutions which do not depend upon the term office of the region. Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture, any ministry office. Institutional relationship with federal institutions, institutional relationship region to region will continue. Because public service is a service to be delivered to the people. It doesn't depend and it shouldn't depend on the term office of the political officers, but unless it is obstructed by the federal government, because the federal government is very frustrated because it knows that it's not legal.
They tried to withhold the block grant in July, only for Tigray. This is madness. So they send the block grant every month to every region. They send the monthly grant to all the regions except Tigray. We asked why, no explanation. Literally, they are saying that Tigray is not part of Ethiopia. Because these resources, this government revenue, are collected, mobilized, including from Tigray. So you take resources from here and you don't invest. It means Tigray is not part of Ethiopia. This is madness. It has to stop. This is unacceptable. So such measures, withholding budget, withholding projects, taking punitive measures in infrastructure, energy, these blockades, transport blockades, amount to declaring war against the people of Tigray. It's not even against the regional government or the ruling party. It amounts to declaring war against Tigrayan people. And this is a very dangerous act, and it has to stop. We have been patient. We try to be as responsible as possible. With all these provocations, we try to be patient. We try to be responsible. We know Ethiopian people, ordinary citizens, they don't agree to this. They don't subscribe to such irresponsible actions. And before we make any decisions, really we consider all these issues as well. So we try to be responsible, we try to be patient. Otherwise, the provocations, the conspiracies are totally unacceptable. And they have to stop.
The federal government was a beneficiary out of this one. I remember from US aid, at one moment, they got about 10 million USD is from U.S. Agency for International Development. That is from people of America. It's not expected to support totalitarian government. Not only America, I'm saying that is just one example. The international community based in Addis should know these facts.
So they have almost abandoned the industrial park, the Bakr Industrial Park. It's a very transformative industrial park, not just for Tigray. This is for the country. It's a national project, simply because it's located in Tigray. No attention given, really. So many other projects are being delayed. So many conspiracies to make sure that projects in Tigray are being delayed or stopped altogether, so that to pressurize the people here, to pressurize the Tigray government, to pressurize the ruling party, the TPLF, so that we surrender to their asks.
ህዝቢ ትግራይ ብውድብ ሕወሓት እናተመርሐ ተቃሊሱ ብሕገ መንግስታዊ ስርዓት ምራሕ ፌደራላዊ ስርዓት ተኺሉ ንኣስታት 30 ዓመት ዝፅጋዕ ተተግቢሩ ኩልና ከም ንፈልጦ ውድብ መንግስትን ህዝብን ኣብ ዝገበሮ ምርብራብ ኣብ ፖለቲካዊ ኢኮኖሚያውን ማሕበራውን ጉዳያት ዓበይቲ ለውጥታት ኣብ ሃገርናን ክልልናን መፅኦም ህዝብና በብደረጃኡ ተጠቃሚ ኮይኑ እዩ።
The people of Tigray, led by the TPLF, fought and established a constitutionally based federal system that was implemented for nearly 3 decades. As we all know, significant political and socio-economic progress was registered in the region and at the national level. As a result, people have become beneficiaries of these dividends. Ethiopia had become a beacon of hope and an envy of all. This was made possible as a result of the constitutionally based federal system realized through the struggle waged by the TPLF together with other organizations and peoples of Ethiopia and the huge sacrifice paid. In the last few years, however, internal and external forces contrived together and worked in coordination to cause animosity between the people of Tigray and the rest of the Ethiopian peoples and destroy our system. They have caused untold evil and injustices. As we engage in the task of confronting these and other challenges, we need to remember the patriots who paid the ultimate price to ensure self-determination of their people. We also need to mobilize ourselves, get ready for sacrifice, and push on with our struggle to ensure our people's dignity and self-determination. Much effort is being unleashed to cow us into submission and sow discord among us. Many new ploys are being contrived to this effect. We need to put up fierce resistance with zeal and resilience.
ዝለዓለ ናይ መንፈስ ጽንዓት ኣብ ዝሕተተሉ እዋን መኸተ ምላሽና እውን ብልዑል መንፈስ ምግጣም ከም ዘድሊ ካቕምጠልኩም ይደሊ።
Distracted from the uninteresting times of peace, tranquility, and development.
The interesting ones and hard times have arrived, of detraction and relapse, but also of mobilization and readiness, of sacrifices and victories, of hopes and great strides.
With ripple effects going far and wide.
Get the perspective.
From where events are fast unfolding. From where history is being made. From where it has always been made.
Understand the values upon which mutual benefits and success depends. Have the foresight. Get it from those who walk the talk.
From Mekelle Foresight, only on Tigray television.